These people really don't get it, do they? They absolutely do not get it. Comics are I mean, I sound like a broken record, but comics are a dying business in the West. And now the president of Marvel, Dan Buckley, quoting quoted in a Bleeding Cool article, he says, "We have to get them to start coming to the store more often, start browsing more often. Yes, we have to get new readers in there, but we have to get the ones that have been habitual readers or are lapsed readers to come into the store more often than they are." This is an actual quote from the president of Marvel. After years of telling those lapsed readers, after years of telling uh, the regulars to fuck off because they're racist, because they're sexist, because they don't like your gender study characters. Now you're wondering why they're not there, and you're trying to figure out how to bring them back. They really don't get it. These people absolutely do not get it. You know how you bring them back, right? It's very simple. First of all, you're going to need to make a commitment to stop hiring writers that hate the readers that you want to bring back. Let's just get to the chase. Stop hiring people like Alex de Campi. Stop hiring writers like Ramon Villalobos. Stop hiring writers like Evan Dorkin or Tom King or Michael Bendis or even Mark Waid. Like, get rid of these people. I know Mark Waid's written some good books, but that's like a long time ago. You know, that ship has already sailed. So stop bringing these people back. Stop rewarding hate mongers and bigots. Stop rewarding people that are misandrous, that hate men, that hate heterosexuality, that hate Christianity. Stop bringing these people back as writers. Get rid of them and bring in writers that actually want to bring those readers back. Because I hate to break it to you, Marvel. I hate to break it to you, Dan Buckley, but your lapsed readers, the ones that gave you the money, that made you money, those are the ones you pissed away. Those are the ones that are predominantly Christian, that are predominantly heterosexual, predominantly male. That was the demographic you pissed away. And now you're crying because them walking away is now costing you billions of dollars. Comic book shops are closing. Some of these writers are reacting and lashing out to fans and customers on Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever the little hug box is currently. Retweeting some weird nonsense out there. You got weirdos they're out there and they're the ones that are representing your businesses. Now I didn't do a video on this. I'm just curious. There's a show apparently called Dead Boy Detectives. Yes, Dead Boy Detectives. Okay, yeah, it's a TV series. It's a comedy show. Apparently Alex de Campi is a fan of it, but she made some very curious comments on her Blue Sky. She was responding to a comment about the Dead Boy Detectives being in their mid-30s, and she says that's the thing that's turning me off of the series. Honestly, they're not boys. I think maybe they addressed it early on. I did not even think about it, but somehow it's just going to constantly annoy me, especially after enjoying Lockwood and Company. Alex Camby says, "Nah, for me, the charm and differentiator of the story was that they were like 12 years old. I just have no interest in them with mid to late 20s actors in the roles." I Do you know how weird that sounds? Imagine if a male creative was watching a show about fictional women, and his gripe of the show was, "Well, they're not 12-year-old girls. They're not. They're. I can't get into a show where the characters are played by adult women. And that's what's throwing me off. That they're not 12-year-old girls. They're not 12-year-old girls. That's what's throwing me off. Do you know how quickly I'd be canceled if I said that shit? Do you know how fast these motherfuckers would go into my history and try to find anything to do to me what they did to Ed Piskor? Do you know how fast these people would do it? But we overlook it because A, she's in her hug box, or her little hug box, so they're not gonna turn her over. And B, because she's a woman, she can get away with it. But you know, and I know full well that any man saying something as weird as this would be singled out in a heartbeat. His sales would plummet. They would look into his history. They would find anything to connect him to being a pedo or a hebephile or anything that could be damning and destructive to their lives. But no, Alex Campi can say, "Oh, I had no interest in watching a show where the main characters aren't 12-year-old boys." And mind you, Ed Piskor, his life was destroyed for far lesser than this shit. Far lesser. But these are the people that are currently running the industry. And the Marvel CEO, the president, is beside himself on why their sales are down and how they can bring those people back. You're not bringing those readers back. They're done with your product, Buckley. They're absolutely done with it. Now, I was in the comic shop today, and I bought a couple of beautiful looking books. I bought let me see if I can get it out here for you. I bought the collection of A Death in the Family, Marv Wolfman and George Perez, Jim Starlin, and Jim Aparo. Absolutely, it means a trade paperback, but it's great to have that story finally in a collection. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And I bought a hardcover from Fantagraphics, Adventures into Terror. Beautiful throwback to, well, not throwback, it's a beautiful collection of older horror tales. You know, I'm a big fan of the Tales from the Crypt Vault of Horror stuff. I've been collecting a lot of those. So I love that I picked this up and that it was available in my comic shop. So there's a lot of great material, but it's just not available in the current mainstream. You have to go back in time. You have to go to your books of yesteryear when it was more about quality and entertainment and less about hatred, bigotry, and agenda. More entertainment, less misandry. You have a misandrous problem, Marvel. Your writers hate men. They hate white men. They hate white Christian men. Your problem is a lot deeper than you think. And I don't think you have the honesty or the integrity to really address the problem and really solve it. The only way this is getting solved is you may have to step down and bring in somebody that is honest about the problem and is going to actually fix the problem. And that includes blacklisting hate mongers, bigots, and violent maggots like Ramon Villalobos or Alex de Campi, or hate mongers like Dan Slott and Mark Waid and these people, and weed them out of the industry. Get them out. Stop employing them. And bring in actual writers who care about the IP, who care about telling entertaining stories, who don't want to lecture you, who don't want to impose their hatred and bigotry on their fan base. And maybe, just maybe, you might bring back your lapsed readers, in addition to not creating new lapsed readers. Maybe you'll bring back that excitement back into the comic shops that are currently remaining. That's not to account for the ones that are closing or closed already and are not coming back. But again, if you watch my earlier videos, I basically said that the era of comic shops is coming to a close, except for the ones that are transitioning to gaming shops and collectible stores. Just strict comic shops, they're going to be gone very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if most of them are out by the end of this year. If by 2025, the comic shops as a whole are gone. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But what do I know? I mean, I'm just a creator. I'm a fan and a creator. I like collecting comics, and by comics I mean like collections, omnibuses, whole stories. I don't do floppies anymore. I'm done with the floppies. But I like collecting whole stories. I like collections like Fantagraphics' Adventures into Terror. I like going into the anthology books. I had E.C. Seeger's Popeye that was delivered to me a few days ago. Currently reading that one. Beautiful read. I love it. Those books inspire, aspire, and entertain. That is missing in your current product, Marvel. Your comics don't aspire. They don't inspire. They don't entertain. What they do is they lecture, they insult, and they push away your moneymakers. But again, it's going to take integrity and honesty on Dan Buckley's part to fix the problem. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I really don't think so. The MCU now just put out they put out their statement that they're going to just decrease the number of movies they make a year, as well as the number of shows they make, which is a smart move financially. And it's also a sign of the declining appeal of the MCU. And the way they've treated their characters and the way they've talked down to their audience. But that's a whole separate thing. But I'm just adding more context to the overall problem that Marvel is facing right now. It all goes back to how you pissed away your fan base. You were too busy attracting a demographic that doesn't read comics, doesn't give a shit about comics, that maybe they maybe have a minority among those demographics that does buy comics, but that's the thing, they're a minority. Pushing away your majority was a dumb business move. It was asinine, it was stupid, and destructive to an industry that is now on its final throes. Between that and, of course, your writers going after creatives and sending them to their deaths, that doesn't help either. So we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna see exactly where this goes, how they address this, if they even address it, because this could probably just be word salad. This could just be a soundbite they just put in the rags, like Bleeding Cool or your favorite YouTube channel, just to sound good, just to say, you know, we care and we're going to do something about it. And they really aren't. We're going to know in the next quarter if Marvel is actually very serious about it. Spoiler alert, don't hold your breath. Just don't hold your breath. It's like I said, there's no fixing this. There really isn't. There's no fixing this. You need to go out into the indies, go into smaller companies like Image or Dark Horse. I was gonna say IDW, but IDW's got Heather Antos, and IDW's facing just as much of a problem, if not more so, because I have not heard a statement from IDW saying that they're gonna try to bring back their last readers. Because if they said that, the first thing they have to do is get rid of Heather Antos, because she's a cancer unto herself in terms of the comic industry. But smaller companies like Dark Horse or IDW, not IDW, good night, Dark Horse, Image, your local indie comic publishers like Alterna, Peter Simeti. You know, the indie's full of publishers, independent publishers with their own IPs, and you know, sending a message would be paying for your favorite IPs and investing in them and getting those to grow. But continuing to rely on Marvel, continuing to pour money on a product that is insulting, racist, misandrist, it's not helping the problem. It's only just speeding the eventual destruction. See, they're going to go to the grave either way. So it's best let them go with a whimper rather than with a sense of bravado that, oh, we tried everything. We tried. No, you didn't try anything because you know the answer to the problem and you're not doing anything about it. You're not fixing the problem. You're just throwing out sweet words because it'll make you look good when the ship sinks. And it's up to you guys, the readers, the fans. It's up to you to look at this and say, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with Marvel. I'm going to support my local independent comic creators or other independent studios and put my money there. Send that message. And maybe, because if you in your heart still want to save the comic industry, I don't know why you would, but if you did want to, the only way to do it is to pour your money into shops or publishers that are still active in the industry, that are still putting books out there that are worth a damn. But that's up to you and how you want to navigate. Of course, this is the part where I show quickly. RoadWarriorDrake.com is where you can get Street Champion Road Warrior Drake or by upcoming Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. I'm an independent creator. I buy comics, but I also make them too. Graphic novels with not individual, but self-contained stories, but they are connected to an overall arc. These books are fun, they're witty, and they have their own share of action and violence, some sex appeal, but ultimately it's an entertaining read, and you're going to have fun reading these books, and they're going to be entertaining. I guarantee it. I appreciate your time. If you have any comments, leave them in the chat so I can, on the comment section, I should say, so I can read them and get some insight on where you guys are with this. But thank you for watching this video. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Take care.